purpose of this video is to give you an overview and some direction on completing an action activity report to provide the professional education unit with feedback about data that is housed in ePass, our data system for our accreditation process. If you open the document you received in the email, that's the action activity report, and we're asking that you give us some feedback specific to the data and also about the overall assessment system. So if you open that document, you'll see that we're asking you to fill out some basic information: the program name, who completed the report, and the date you submitted it. Just a quick overview of the form. You'll see what we're asking for is relatively basic, but we're wanting to do a check on your admissions data and see if that's what you would expect. Feel free to give us, any feedback you would like about your admission data. Also, and this will make more sense in a minute, we're going to ask you to look at assessment data that are specific to content knowledge in a few different places. So if you click on the hyperlink, it will take you to ePass. Feel free and please do review the overall system. It's pretty comprehensive. There is a lot of information there, and you will find, I think you'll find it useful on many different levels. If I'm going to scroll down here, it gives you an overview of the entire system. But if you look here at these headers, you will see a description of what each column is for and what is housed there. And I'm going to keep scrolling down just a little bit. You'll see that all 39 or 40 programs in the PEU are within ePass. That includes elementary, secondary programs, K-12 programs, and graduate programs. So if you scroll down, you'll come to secondary aggregate data. You may find this useful to compare your specific program, to have some comparator data. And then I'm just going to focus here on general science broad field. And if you, in this first column here, you will see there's quite a bit of information here that includes a state accreditation report, but specific to what we're asking you to do here, there is an assessment, a key assessment by program form, and I'm going to click on that and show it to you briefly. It's going to show you all of our key assessments that are being used for our accreditation process. And if you look at the top here, we're going to ask you to review Key Assessment 1 and Key Assessment 2. And then if you drop down here, Key Assessment 4, which is the clinical data. Those three key assessments along with the admissions data. So I'm going to close that, and we go back to the overall system. Now the second column, as you would see if you scroll back up to the top, this describes the data source. So for each one of these you will find a rubric or a description or forms that are completed. For admissions, you'll see our admissions form that shows you the criteria that we use for admission into our programs. So you can reference back to these as needed. And once again, we're very open to your feedback. So then in the third column, you will find the admissions data. So if you click on that, You'll see that we provide overall numbers of folks admitted and overall, well, GPAs by semester. One thing I do need to point out is that the totals at the bottom here are not accurate. They're not totaling 100%. That's due to the query we're running there. So, but these are quite accurate. One thing to consider is that this is not taking into account people who changed majors after they had been accepted into the program or selected a different endorsement area. But you'll see the average GPA. So the numbers, male-female ratio, and the GPA is what you can review there. I'm going to click out of that, and I'm going to go to Key Assessment 1. Once again, I'm not going to click on all these, but you can click here to see how these GPAs are calculated. So this is a subset GPA that 5 years or so ago, folks in the college worked with all the programs to decide on a subset GPA that we believe reflected more specific content knowledge. So you'll see the averages there. I'm going to click out of that, and I'm going to show you Key Assessment 2. The results there are overall GPAs, which is also a way that well, it's an endorsement GPA specific to the endorsement, so it's actually includes more courses. Okay, we're looking into other ways to assess content knowledge, and we may be making a change there. So that gets at content knowledge in two different ways, sort of three with the GPA, but you know what's really important for us is to tie what we're doing in the university classroom to clinical experiences. So our Key Assessment 4 is actually clinical experiences at 3 different points in time. So I'm going to show you this. This is a pretty comprehensive report, but we're really narrowing it down here for you. If you look at the performance outcomes, you'll see that performance outcome 1 and performance outcome 2 are both related to content knowledge. So this is why we're asking you to review this. So and then what you're looking at here is that this is field experience data at 3 different points in time. One caveat to point out is that we actually changed from a 3-point to a 2-point scale in field experience 1. So this is a little bit difficult to interpret, but field experience 2 is consistent, as is the student teaching experience, which is represented here. So you can review these different scores that students received. Actually, this is a kind of a composite score of folks in the field and university supervisors. And then also, if you look at this is more discrete subject matter. So remember, you can go back to the second column and you'll see the descriptors. So if you click on these, it describes what is actually being assessed. Okay, so that's an overview of the data. So you click on the hyperlink and it'll take you right there, and you can review the data. So make sure you track down your specific program that you're reviewing. So once again, we're asking for some feedback on what you think about the admissions data as far as accuracy and that sort of thing. Then also reviewing that content knowledge, which Key Assessment 1 and 2 are the different GPAs, and then the clinical practice data, which is performance outcomes 1 and 2. Now I'm going to scroll down a little further, and we're asking you to suggest one action activity that you would like to do to address any concerns that you might have. So, this is at the heart of what we're involved in as far as continuous improvement and constantly improving our programs and expanding the level of communication, and that we just really want your feedback and your input. So you can complete in a table form, and then as you scroll down here, you'll also see that you have another option of just giving us some narrative to do the same thing. Okay, and then as with any of these areas, if you want to, and if you need more space, we certainly don't want to restrict the amount of feedback you give us. You can attach another document when you send this back. And then finally, we're wanting to hear about your program highlights. We want to hear about those great things that are going on in all the various programs, and those highlights and these action activity reports, we're going to review those and then post them onto ePass. So if you look at the last column and the second to last column, you'll see where these will eventually be posted. So thank you very much for being willing to do this. Please fill them out and send them back to me, Trent Atkins, at umontana.edu. Also, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us if you have any questions. Thanks so much for your ongoing collaboration, and we look forward to seeing you soon.